Hi there, Capricorn. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome here. We're here with your Uranus going direct reading, and we're talking about Uranus having been retrograde and now going sort of direct. This is a long-term cycle relativity that we're working with, and it will be roughly spanning the time frame of March, April 2020, leading up into March, April 2021. So let's jump into it here. I'm hearing Aries. I'm hearing Carissa here so strongly, and I'm looking at the twin flame coach family. It's so cute. It's so cute. Shall we have a look? Let's take a look. Okay, I'm saying for a number, there's something nostalgic here for a number of you coming through, but aren't they just the cute? They're so cute. Okay, yeah, this is a new addition. The little guy with the reindeer hat. Anyways, that's their. Yeah, that's what their love led to. That's what their love made. Okay, let's clear it and ground. So I don't know. For number, I'm hearing Leo here so strongly. Like somebody, I'm hearing Capricorn, Cancer has been also really wanting to connect with you. Capricorn, I'm seeing they miss you. Like they actually, I'm hearing they want to move in with you. I'm hearing that as well. For a number of you, this is something that it's kind of I'm hearing finders keepers. I don't know what that's alluding to, but it's kind of, there is a lot involved in this space, and I'm seeing that you're kind of wondering, you're like, am I ready for this experience? I'm seeing you kind of asking yourself that. I'm hearing Aries with Leo, like, am I really truly like ready to take on this experience, or am I just sort of like getting ahead of myself here? And this could be you with you. Maybe this is the energy of like you're getting ready to move into maybe even an industry. I'm hearing this for a number of you strongly, Capricorn. Now, just want to little sort of mention this, that this is a channeled message. I'm not only working with the cards, although we will be working with the tarot deck. I'm also channeling. Let me just sort of get that here ready. We will be working here with the cards, Capricorn, and but something has been pretty, I'm hearing like kind of frustrating actually, if we're quite honest. I'm here a little annoying. Now, before we get into it, I was meditating on your energy, and I was getting that there is like almost something, Capricorn, you're like, how am I gonna do this? Like you're looking at something, Capricorn, like, oh my god, like how in the world am I gonna do this? Like whatever it is, it feels kind of, I don't want to say impossible, but like it feels kind of intense, I'm hearing as well. And like there are too many factors going on. It's just getting really, I'm hearing really like intense. I'm hearing it again in this way. Now for me, maybe this is something social. There are a lot of people involved, and it's just like at a certain point you're like, I need to just like kind of step out. Need to step out and step away. Now the two cards that came through right then we were shuffling is the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune is upright, and the Three of Wands in reverse. Now, Capricorn, side note, I wanted to just mention, thank you all so much for connecting here to you. Thank you for tuning in to you, and for all of your support, those of you in every way that you connect, right? Your comments, your likes, your shares, your positive sort of vibration as well that you uphold. Capricorn, I'm not sure this could be a message for a number of you, but and I'm saying that somebody possibly wants to communicate, to you that, you have an impact on so many levels that are not necessarily physically sort of qualified and quantified and felt. When you are sort of holding a vibration of a certain nature, that is felt by others, and whether or not they consciously are aware of it. It's very interesting. One time I had a starseed reading, and the individual told me that well, it's not just what you can observe, right? That is sort of the sort of end zone of your impact. Okay, she mentioned, she was like, you at times you might find that you're just drawn to certain places and spaces and time, and you could be in line at a grocery store and you have an impact on people in that space. They may not consciously understand what is taking place, but there is a vibrational impact that's had when you're just simply there. And so I'm hearing Leo here. There's somebody here, Capricorn, they're in love with you, Capricorn. I'm hearing they don't know what to do anymore. I'm hearing like in this way, like they don't know, like I'm hearing if they should stay or if they go, if they should go. It's like something kind of like, I really don't know. Like also, what are we gonna do? Like it's almost like they feel like you're their whole world. I'm hearing that as well. Like there is this energy space that I'm looking at my red coffee maker right there. It's like a Smeg coffee machine, and it's like so bright red. I was working with that during quarantine. We did some quarantine videos, and I was making coffee and whatnot, and we actually made a coffee as well in the Cancer reading, and there was a very interesting kind of connection there with a video of yours that got deleted, and then we had to go through YouTube, and like they brought the video back. That was it's on the channel now, and but in that video we were applying red lipstick, and in the Cancer reading you were coming through quite a bit, and vice versa. Cancer is coming through in your reading strongly as well. And in the Cancer reading, we're making coffee, okay, with that machine. So take it as you will. There could be a particular clue for a number of you, but for a number of you, oh my, I'm hearing, no, Leo. I'm hearing Leo so strong. Like somebody is, they're done. I'm hearing they're done with everything. I'm hearing around the conversation of how it is that they can connect with you. I'm hearing finally, officially. I'm hearing once and for all. Like they don't want to feel like there's anything in between you two. I'm hearing that as well. And possibly they feel like, you know, that they're like concerned even. Maybe there's an actual physical distance. Now, I was meditating your energy, Capricorn. I'm hearing Cancer, Aries, Taurus, and Scorpio very strongly here. And I was, it's funny, I was looking at like my luggage was sitting right next to me as I was meditating your energy, and I don't normally meditate in that part of the room, but take it as you will. That could be a particular clue for a number of you. For a number of you, there's something that is just like, I'm hearing, you're really wondering, like from a strategic standpoint, I'm seeing you're kind of questioning. You're like, I don't know how in the world this is, how is this gonna happen? I'm hearing again in this way, like, I just don't get it yet. I'm hearing as well. And possibly it's something that just is kind of controversial as well. I'll say that there are a lot of factors to whatever this is that just really, I don't want to say like it concerns you, but it makes you wonder, okay? Like how are we gonna put everything sort of together here? Now, Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn, right? Saturn is a generational planet, and it rules long-term transformation, growth, and laying a foundation and building things, sustaining things, and maintaining them into the future. Saturn is a generational planet yet again, and so given that we've had Saturn in retrograde during this period concurrently with Uranus retrograde, those really long-term generational planets, moving planets, slower moving planets, have been both retrograde at the same time, more or less. This is intense when it comes to also what you might have found you are clearing in terms of karma. For a number of you, you are really working with a whole boatload of generational karma as a way in which I'm hearing it, and it's to say that it possibly was not an easy period. Now, for a number of you, maybe this is something that you're observing and you're sort of recognizing, you know, there's no point. I'm hearing in sort of focusing on, I'm hearing the bonnet and the hair in the conversation. I don't know what about this. Like there's some maybe shift. You're like, maybe at first you're like, oh, this sucks, like whatever this is. And Saturn went retrograde prior to, you know, shortly prior to the quarantine period, okay? And so, you know, we had a lot of these planets go into retro at the beginning of 2020, and then we moved into quarantine, you know, so take it as you will, at least in the States, and in particular cities, every city is different, okay? So, but, you know, and Capricorn, you know, there was a very strong focus on that period here. I'm seeing something swirling, I'm not sure what that's only to, but take it as you will. Now, I'm hearing Leo again here so strongly. Now, maybe in the beginning you're like, it was a sensation of like, oh my god, I'm hearing aftermath of the quake. I'm hearing that as well strongly here. I'm hearing typhoon. I don't know what that's only to, but okay. We had a lot of event, well, whatever it is. Now, Capricorn, I am hearing Cancer here as well, and I'm hearing Leo again. There is something that you possibly in the very beginning of the year, you really felt. I'm hearing, I don't know about this mountain. Okay. Like, I'm seeing it with like a group of hikers. Like, you're like, that is way too high of a mountain. No, like, what is that? Not only as a mountain, I signed up for a mountain climbing. Yeah, no, that doesn't look like a mountain. That's like something else. You're getting ready to just take your back around. You know, Capricorn, like, I don't know, that could be a metaphor, but, you know, for a number of you, is maybe even something that you signed up for. You're like, I did not sign up for that. I don't know what this is. What is this? What is the story with also his work over there? Like, something is starting to get confusing. Now, I'm seeing this as possibly in relation even to a company, like, and if that is the case, there are certain departments possibly that are just like, what are they all doing in relation to one another as well? And yeah, what are they doing in relation to also their industry? Interesting. So there's a lot of transformation here, and maybe that first it's like that jolting sort of, whoa, this is like awkward and weird, and I've never experienced this sort of energy, and what do I do with this experience? But then it's like there was possibly a shift when it comes to how you see yourself talking about this space. Interesting. So for a number of you, maybe there was something of even like a positive, I'm hearing space of development when it came to what it is that you saw yourself creating in this space. Maybe it was almost like this sensation of like, oh gosh, like I don't know how I'm going to do this, to like, wait, actually it's like I really see that this can be used in another way. It's like almost like you're getting ready to throw out like some object, you're like, this is no use, like it's broken or whatever, and then you rematch master it, you repurpose the use of it for you personally. And I'm seeing that might be related to the archetype of Sagittarius. Feel free to go check out the Sag reading if you feel guided. Now, Capricorn, I'm seeing there's a really strong focus on your social environment. Something is really under a state of major uprooting. You're redefining, really questioning what you resonate with and why. Okay, well, let's clear it once again. So something is also, I'm seeing there's a question of privacy and public life. Those are possibly concepts that really are coming up for review here for you as well. And we have the Hierophant right there. So that's a very strong Earth card energy, and it is naturally the ruler of Taurus, and Venus, Venusian energy is the second house ruler. I'm hearing Taurus, and the moon here coming through. That is the ruler of Scorpio. You got two major arcana here. Let's pull a few more here. Something is like, yeah, Four of Cups again twice. That was on the face of the stack when we started shuffling this deck of cards. But for number view, like, you know, something is also inevitable, and I'm hearing it in that way. This is something that you're working with, and it is a very challenging concept for number view. It possibly relates to, again, I'm hearing even generational karma, history, okay, family as well. I'm hearing it like that with the Four of Cups upright. You know, it's kind of like bittersweet. Yeah, the Eight of Cups. Oh, is that the Ten of Swords? That is a Three of Swords in reverse at the base of the Ten of Swords, Seven of Swords at the base of that. Okay, Six of Swords. Like, we went through it all. I'm hearing it this way. Like, at a certain point we were like, what is this? I'm hearing that, like, again, and be you looking at 2020 like that. Be it, you know, that you're looking at the world like, you know, whatever it is, and Saturn, again, is rules, you know, even society in some way, the structures and governments and things like that, you know, companies, it rules the economy and things like that. But anyways, like, there's something that I'm hearing disaster preparedness with the Eight of Cups. At a certain point, you know, it's kind of bittersweet because those really challenging experiences we have, Capricorn, we always have something to take away from them, right? So even if it's something that is like so annoying, okay, we're like, why did that, like, I'm hearing also a group of people, I'm hearing react like that to that one event. Why would they do that? Like, and, you know, at a certain point, we get into that space of asking, you know, those questions of, you know, and I mean, possibly trying to understand it, to provoke that space. Interesting. To confess, I'm here to communicate as well about, I don't know what that's going to take as you will. You know, at a certain point that we stop and we decide to I'm hearing to open. I'm hearing space for change in relation to that experience. Now, for number of you, is that transformation? Is that transmutation? For number of you, whatever, you're really realizing something here so important. And the question is not what has it been, but it is what do you do about what you want. I'm hearing so badly bring to life in that space in relation to your personal role in relation to that conversation. I'm hearing in that. So, okay, let me say it this way. There is something happening on a macro scale. It is crazy if you were to look at it just like as that. I don't know what that's alluding to, and that could be something that someone's saying. I'm just channeling this message, but for a number of you, it's like someone could look in on a space and it would look like a circus. It would look freaking crazy. Like, I don't know who hired those actors sort of entry. Okay. I really don't think that do they think this is real life? Like, I don't know what that's leading to. Very interesting. Okay. Saturn does actually rule the third paradigm of the physical material realm. But anyhow, at a certain point, Capricorn, I'm saying, like, if you were, though, to observe whatever that experience is by not interpreting it, I'm hearing as a discussion with I'm hearing the portal. I'm hearing the portal that it one day could become, like, and not looking at it being like, oh, if only it were, if only it could, if only, you know, okay. I'm hearing sustenance of the lack mentality. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. Okay, if you were to instead sort of just, it's interesting to see someone turning away from something that is chaotic and internalizing, okay, their experience as that doesn't also define me. It doesn't tell me what I do about what I wish to become. Wow. So for a number of you, this is something where you say, I am my story and I can observe whatever is taking place, but I hold my light. I hold my ground. I hold space for my personal experience to be known without, I'm hearing distraction. So there is maybe something in the environment taking place that is again, like, I'm hearing you are like, why would someone do that? I'm hearing that again. Like, why? What is the purpose of this? Like, you know, where did this also experience lead to? Like, it's almost like, you know, it's distracting energy, okay? It's like watching the news, like, oh my God, and then what? And then they did what? It's like, you don't, yeah, I just, you don't want to watch that, right? You may realize, because it does actually move you into a space and a paradigm of practicing, I'm hearing a thought continuum that you don't actually, I'm hearing make use of. I'm hearing as well in that way, like what thoughts actually serve you, and what is it that just kind of distracts you, right? What is it that sort of gets you to like dance, but like not really like on the stage or to the song that you really resonate with? I'm hearing that. Let's clear it out. Yeah, so this is something social for whatever, you know, no question, like, and it's not because of that analogy, but I'm just feeling in a general way for you, Capricorn, that there's something that is just like, I'm hearing it's so obvious now as well. It is unmistakable. And for a number of you, I'm hearing Leo so strongly here. There are things that you feel you need to just step away from, and it is controversial. There will be people who don't want to know why even you made that decision. They don't want to believe that you would make that decision. They want to feel like you, I'm hearing you own them, and vice versa. I don't know what that's alluding to, but take it as you will. It's like, and for a number, this is something related to family. You're setting boundaries. You're saying that doesn't mean that I am relevant to that discussion just because I'm hearing you want me to be. Wow. For a number of you, that is something maybe on a symbolic level, but for another number of you, I'm seeing that is something where, let's say somebody is saying, hey, we want to trigger you, like in this way. And if you're someone who just like watches the news and you feel like you get triggered, you get distracted, whatever it is, okay, and it could be on an energetic level. It's like, I'm seeing at a certain point, you're realizing Capricorn, Leo, Aries, Taurus, and Scorpio, I'm hearing that so strongly, that you do not need to do something. I'm hearing it as well in this way, just because someone wants you to do it. I'm hearing it like that. And that's very interesting to read on for Capricorn, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It is sort of like that director-like energy, okay, when it comes to also specifically the physical paradigm. Capricorn rules boundaries. It rules responsibility. Technically, okay, Saturn is an earth-based planet. So Saturn actually is very, very good at laying boundaries, setting up rules, restrictions, and so on and so forth and whatnot. But I'm seeing in this space, in particular, there could be something that someone possibly has experienced, you know, the impact of, and it be this you with you, where you say, I used to just like get triggered and like kind of just like go along with, you know, I'm hearing the market price. I don't know what that's alluding to. Like, I would just go along with the market. I'm hearing that again. Like, I don't know again what that might be alluding for everyone, but it's like, and that just didn't do me good. So maybe it's even a matter of your career. You're like, I don't need to look at things also in that way, just because, like, also let's say I'm hearing my company wants me to. For a number of you, possibly this is something like super controversial. You're like, hey, I'm hearing I'm leaving. I'm hearing it as well in this way. Like, hey, I'm not looking at that the way you were looking at that. I know. I'm hearing, I know. I know that you have something to say about that as well. I understand that it's something that doesn't really make sense. I'm hearing as well in this way to you. But I have to do this. I'm hearing for me. I'm hearing a role player. I'm hearing in my reality. And as long as I'm tending to your topic of conversation that you feel is, you know, your immediate, I'm hearing also like, you know, responsibility. I'm hearing that, like, maybe someone's like, oh, but like we have to do, like, they have all kinds of reasons, okay, whatever it is, you know, that doesn't mean that it's the way that I also need to talk to myself. So maybe this is something of even in a space where you say, I realized that was influencing me, even hanging out with those types of people, you know, being around that group, even online, you guys. I'm seeing like even something that you were, even content you were watching, content you were, you know, playing. I'm hearing, you know, for years actually, it's like at a certain point you realize, like, I don't actually care about that stuff. I'm hearing that as well, and I realize it's just literally wasting my time, and it's also for a number of them here, you felt like it was just draining. Like, so there are things that were challenging, possibly not only for you to walk away from, but for, you know, others to observe you walking away from, we'll say it in that way. And you know, that can be you with an aspect of your own being where you said, wow, I never thought I would get to this point where I would be leaving, I'm hearing, that company, and really being happy about it. I'm hearing as well in this way. Like, now everybody has Capricorn in their chart somewhere, so look at your chart. See where you got even your Saturn, what sign, what house it's in, what other planets it's interacting with. And in addition, take a look at your 10th house, that's your midhaven. And that is, in addition, right, the rule, it's the ruling house of Saturn. So look at what houses, you know, are sort of relating as well to that house by way of aspect, other planets, and so forth. If you want to work one-on-one, we can do so, but that's another topic, okay. But beyond that, Capricorn, I'm seeing there's something that you're just like, you realize, you know, you're bringing this to the table, and it's you. and it's personal to you, and there's a little bit of an epiphany as I'm getting it here. I'm feeling a little bit of like this stimulation in the sacral chakra on the right side specifically, that's clearing the ground. Like for a number of you, there's something that you saw so clearly, you're like, yeah, no, that's just like not good for me. I'm hearing that as well. And maybe it's a certain type of activity that you're abstaining from. It's something possibly that you feel, I'm hearing, is a mistake, or like you made a mistake with. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. But there is something that is part of your story, I'm hearing as well, but that you feel you do not need to. I'm hearing also, I'm hearing feel consumed by. Like just because that happens doesn't mean that, I'm imagining like people on a highway, right? When they're driving, it's like, they always say, like, if there's something going on the highway, like don't stop and like, slow your car to stare, because that will sort of, sort of impact the way that the whole sort of train of traffic is moving. So, I'm almost saying for a number of you, it's like, there's something that you are recognizing, like, I have to remain focused, and it's not just in a matter of saying, I want to be successful. I'm hearing that as well. It's a matter of my feeling, how it is that I also interrupt my conversation. I'm hearing with my shareholders. I don't know what that takes you well. It could be a metaphor. And so it could be related to whatever, to your assets, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm hearing Leo here again so strongly, but at a certain point though, I have to say like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I also just can't have that conversation, and like right now. So, without, I'm hearing wisdom here so strongly. I'm hearing without feeling like you wasted your time. Like, why don't they understand me? Why is it that, when I speak my truth, people, I'm hearing they tickle me and they say, ha 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 ha, okay, you're done talking. I'm hearing this, like, I don't know what that's alluding to, but at a certain point, it's like, no, like you realize that your story is something that is serious for you, and it's not, even if let's say people don't want to hear it. Okay, like I don't know what that's alluding to, as it feels maybe in your present environment. It's like you have a conversation that you're having with a number of people, and like you realize some people don't engage with you in the way that you wish that they would. That's fine. Now the thing is here that you're not going to be changing the way they react, right, necessarily. And I'm seeing that the more that you focus on that, the more draining it actually is, Capricorn. I'm seeing that you realize that it is more so a matter of what you continue to carry on with, the story of. I'm hearing it like that. And that's just something so personal to you on a vibrational level, Capricorn. Thank you for tuning in. Love and light to you guys. We barely worked with the cards, yes. 3 cups in reverse, 8 of cups upright. For a number of you, this is just something of there's a history here. I'm hearing it's just 10 of cups in reverse. It's something that it's very, very intense, but I'm seeing that you're learning to work with whatever this is in a new way. And let's just quickly pull a card here for each of the stages. We got the pre-shadow here of 2020, 4 of cups upright. That was March, April. Then we lead into, and it's just so karmic. I mean, those are inevitable. 4 swords sort of energy. 4 swords in reverse. For a number, there is something of a history here, a past lives, so on and so forth, that is at play. 4 swords in reverse. I'm seeing you almost like, when is this going to be over? When is this going to be done? Like, how are we going to do this? I'm hearing that again. Like, how is it going to all sort of lead out? You lead into the Judgment card in the period of post-shadow retrograde, which is what we just recently entered into about the 13th of January. Now, we lead into then clearing in March 2021, the Mother of Swords in reverse. So there's something that will be a very important decision. It's going to be challenging. I'm not going to lie, Capricorn. This is something that is, but it's a bittersweet, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, the more tough we are with others, and thereby more tough with ourselves on holding our truth, I'm hearing, to a standard, by which we say, I'm going to speak it no matter what, no matter who says what in relation to it, the more clear we are with ourselves and what we're communicating and how honest it is with our higher self and our true, I'm hearing, vision for the future of what we see to create, the more easy it will be to find peace, I'm hearing, with whatever does take place. In other words, and I mentioned my nose right there, this could be something financial for a number of you. For a number of you, you're literally stepping away from a business. You're saying, I am having faith that it will be the best thing. Because even if I don't know exactly, let's say I leave a certain business and I say, okay, I don't know what's going to happen if I leave this business. I don't know where I'm going to go. Maybe this is well for a number of you. All I know is that this doesn't work for me and this doesn't resonate with me. So knowing that I make this decision in the highest form of my truth and my light, I'm hearing that as well. My love also for myself. I realize that, you know, I don't really have so much to fear. I'm hearing that. Now, I don't know what that might be something that someone's telling you or that you're realizing, Capricorn. And with the Five of Pentacles and the Two of Swords, it's something that is possibly, again, controversial. There could be also a political side to this. I am hearing that as well. Like, you know, there's always going to be something that some group of people will have to say about whatever decisions that you make. So what I'm trying to sort of communicate here, I'm hearing Leo here so strongly, again, specifically with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, is that you realize no matter what you do, it will always be something that has, I'm hearing a number of reactions to it. I'm hearing responses to it. I'm hearing, and if this, for example, something that it's like a law that someone's passing, I'm hearing that with the Judgment card and the Mother Swords, like, you know, it's going to be something that is delivered. And that's the important thing. Okay, that I'm hearing that I do it, that I make the decision that is right for me. Now, I am a little worried about the Mother Swords in reverse, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe there is something that is almost like you're concerned about, okay? It's like, I don't wanna like tell them, like, I feel like they're gonna be hurt. I'm hearing that as well. Mother Swords in reverse, there's something that is like, I don't know how I should tell them. I'm hearing that as well. Maybe we will be working more with that energy in April. I'm hearing Canada. I'm hearing Cancun. I'm hearing so strong. In the summer months. I'm hearing Cannes, Cannes. I don't know, take it as you will. I'm hearing Guadalupe, Guantanamo. I don't know what that is linked to. Okay, but there's something here, like somebody's like, I think that like I'm gonna see her again. I'm hearing that as well. Two Swords of Bright, like Mother Swords reverse, like someone's like trying to make something comfortable. They're like, yeah, this is obviously going to be, you know, released. I'm hearing as well, like obviously going to be. I'm hearing also resisted. I'm hearing that for a number of you, like obviously going to be. I'm hearing reestablished. I'm hearing that as well. And so, you know, whatever it is, it's just important that I take the direction that I feel guided to take on with it at this point in time. And then for another, maybe this is something that you feel you need to take a break with, or you'll come back to. I'm hearing that as well. Two Wands of Bright. Yeah, for another, possibly you're just like taking time out to travel. I'm hearing that as well. And it's like, I'm saying that you feel possibly you'll eventually come back to the space. Sun in reverse. For another, there's something that's just like so much pressure, like, you know, it's like, what am I going to do? It's almost like you're worried about like leaving a business, because then you're wondering like, will it come back to it, or will it be just like kind of just like poof? Yeah, I'm hearing all of the razors are not sharp anymore. I'm hearing there's something you're wondering, like, how do I have to keep up with this to make sure that it's going to like also continue and sustain. Devil here, Seven of Cups in reverse, the Devil's upright, Seven of Cups in reverse, and the World upright. I'm hearing Leo here again. I'm like almost getting annoyed. I don't know what that's going to do, but for a number of you, there's something that possibly you feel, you know, you have to I'm hearing it's very, you got to be careful in the way that maybe you work with this space. It's something maybe again very personal to you. You feel like only I know how to work with this space. And for me to really, you know, there's this question of, am I doing the best job that I can? It's not, you know, people looking in and being like, wow, you're successful. It's like, how do I feel actually when especially if you're creating something, you're like, I see for myself that I can continue in this way, but I need for myself to step back and then come back to it and understand how it is that I would like to create with it and within it. And it can be an industry for a number of you. You know, for a number of you, maybe I'm seeing a large number of you selling your businesses. Like this is for a large number of you. Like and these are long-term, okay, businesses that have been, I'm hearing for years, ages. I'm hearing that as well. And it can be even contracts, it could be soul contracts. I'm hearing that as well, take it as you will. There's something that you are sort of, I don't want to say again like stepping away from, but you're deciding and once and for all, I'm hearing it in this way, that something is not your story. I'm hearing like that, and this is possibly something karmic. Now remember, this is general reading. You know, always take it as you will, what resonates with you, okay? You know, this could be taken a number of ways, so you know, take it as you will yet again, and take it as you will again. Okay. Take it as you will, like, a few times over. You're like in this way. I don't know what that's alluding to. Maybe this is like, you know, maybe you're even releasing some sort of information and like you understand like this is obviously not a lot of people are gonna be happy about this, but that's just like what it needs to be, and it's hard news. It is hard news with Mother Swords in reverse. Like nobody wants to deliver, the awkward memo that no one you know, I'm here, they didn't even meet. One second, what? So this could be something for whatever you're actually creating, and I'm seeing if that is the case. you're almost stalling with it. You're possibly even preparing something in relation to this space, and like it's almost like a little longer sort of energy, and like people are gonna be annoyed with that. It's almost like maybe a product that you're creating, and like you have people who have like pre-ordered this and they're like waiting for this thing. Five of Wands. For a number of you, there is some, I'm here generation, I don't know, take it as you will, but there's something, yeah, Six of Cups just fell on the ground there, and the Father of Pentacles here, I'm hearing, I don't want to say it, well, I'm not going to say it, Father of Pentacles upright, Five of Wands, right over the Mother of Swords in reverse. There's something that I'm hearing you felt like was just not fair, okay? There was some kind of energy that was just like very, very difficult, and at a certain point you lead out, yeah, Wheel of Fortune right over the world, you know, this is something karmic, I'm hearing again in this way, Capricorn, and you realize that there is an opportunity, there is a door to move through, and there's something that you see yourself creating. Now, okay, I was hearing here, but this is, I'm hearing generational curse. I don't know what that's, I'm not saying that that is what the case, but for a number of you, there could be something that you were like, not maybe even wanting to see. You're like, I would hope that that wasn't the case, but then what is that? That is possibly karma, right? And again, with the Father of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, and I, again, just remember, I'm channeling, so this is like a lucid state of dreaming. I'm just communicating to you what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing. So it's up to you to, you know, and it's a general reading, so take it as you will again. But the Wheel of Fortune leading out, for a number of you, there's something that you're just like, it's uncomfortable. It's like, again, I don't want to have to be the one to like bring that news right to the table, like everyone's sitting around the table, like they're, you know, so for a number of you, there's something maybe that you're even representing in front of a large group of people, and I'm hearing, yeah, it requires for it's almost like without a doubt there would be people in the room who would like misunderstand the message I'm hearing as well in this way, and just like assume like, oh, so you know, you stop talking to us. I'm hearing that as well. Father of Pentacles upright, like someone's kind of possibly saying, you know, I just can't do this. I'm hearing that as well with the Father of Pentacles upright, mother. Like, I can't keep, okay. Also tabs on this. I'm hearing it in this way with the Mother of Swords in reverse. One second. So this is I'm seeing like a lot of people are not going to be just like, oh, okay, see you on Monday. It's like, no, they're like, excuse me, wait, are you still a mister? Are you still a mister? Like looking for a missus? I'm hearing that as well. I don't know what that could be a metaphor, but it's like, why are you like, why? They, you know, people will assume that they misunderstood the news. I'm hearing agency. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. Okay. But, somebody could be also like leaving a company to start their own company. It's something kind of, a lot of people are going to think this is totally wacko. They're like, is he for real? I'm hearing Daffy Duck. I'm hearing Donald Duck. Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse. This is something, again, controversial. Like, and for a number of you, this has to do with something rather professional, as a number of people might see it. It's like, why would they do that? I'm hearing that as well. Like, maybe there are like measures in place. Like somebody goes through like absolute measures to even like, they were like super wealthy. I'm hearing that as well. Like, so like they were really well accommodated, we'll say it in this way, in a certain space, and like I'm seeing olive oil here, grapes, cheese, wine, I don't know what that's alluding to, but like somebody here, okay, stepped away from all of that, and maybe someone can say, wow, like they sacrificed, like why would they go through all, like it just it is shocking to hear that someone would, you know, want that. I'm hearing instead of that, like, and that is to a lot of people. Okay, that is the consensus. The Hierophant here in reverse. Now, I'm hearing he was having a hard time. So this could be financially, somebody is like, again, I mean, this is for a large number of you selling a business, and this is a business that has been in I'm hearing franchise stock for years. I'm hearing Charles so strongly. I'm hearing Charlie Woodrow. I don't know what that's linked to. I'm hearing wardrobe. I'm hearing as well. Ace of Swords upright, Three of Wands upright. I'm hearing Nancy is clueless. I don't know. Nancy Clue. I don't know what that's alluding to. I was like Nancy Drew, but like, yeah, Clue. I don't know. Take it as you will. Nancy Drew has a clue. I'm hearing that as well. Okay, has a clue with Ace of Swords upright. 1 second. Has a clue about what's in the closet. I mean, Nancy Drew has a clue about the closet. I'm hearing, and so there's something that, okay, so wow, look at the Emperor right there. Mirroring the Father of Pentacles, like, there's something that someone is just like, they're like, oh, well, I did not expect that news. You guys will jump in.